All right, so I'm going to talk about fat loss because what I want to do is one, nobody gets to take fat loss until they watch this, because I want everybody to understand what's going to happen in their body, what can happen in their body, and what should happen in their body when they take this product. I created this formula for specific reasons, and that's why it's so imperative that everybody listens to this before they get on the fat loss product. So this will help alleviate a lot of questions. First off, everybody knows, let's just go back to basics. Everybody knows that you have to drink water because a fat molecule, now there's alpha and beta fat cells, right? So a fat molecule is stored body fat and it's condensed as an energy source by removing moisture. So in order to utilize stored body fat as energy, there's multiple things that you have to do. First off, you have to give it water. If you do not hydrate the fat molecule back to a usable energy source, it does not get utilized as energy. If you do not utilize stored body fat as energy, it stays in your body where you don't like to see it, as fat. Okay, now there's alpha fat cells and beta fat cells. Alpha fat cells are transferring very quickly in and out in between meals and while you're sleeping. Beta fat cells is what I made this formula for. This formula was created for beta fat cell utilization. Beta fat cells have 1/8 the amount of blood flow. Why? Well, there's reasons. Beta fat cells are toxic. Beta fat cells are those fat cells you see on people that they never get rid of. Women see it in their arms and their hips, and you see it in professional athletes where they have this nice layer of body fat, and you don't understand why, because they've been working out for 6 to 8 hours a day and they cannot get rid of their body fat. How's that possible? What's body fat's use? Body fat's use is for energy to be utilized in between meals and when you're sleeping. So why are we storing it and not get rid of it? See, there's reasons. One, you're not drinking enough water. Two, you have to have vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, B12, and B13. If you do not have these vitamins, you will not utilize stored body fat for energy. So that means you can store body fat, but you don't have the key to unlock it to get rid of it. And that's, most people will say, oh, that makes sense. Why? I keep storing body fat and I can never get rid of it. And next year, I'm going to be 10 pounds heavier. And next year, I'm 10 pounds heavier. And next year, I'm 10 pounds heavier. And that's why, because you're not utilizing it, either by lack of water, which is not always the case, but it's typically by the nutrients. And that's why I say everybody has to be on the one. Why do you have to be on the one? Well, it's the only product source I know that has all of those vitamins listed for utilizing stored body fat. And when you take every nutrient the body needs, the body's capable of doing amazing things. So that's why that's in the mix. You have to be on that product. Now let's talk about beta fat cells a little bit more. Is that if beta fat cells are toxic, so it can be from vaccines, it can be from medications, it can be from drugs, it can be from eating too much fast foods and MSG, you're going to taste some of these things. You could have a heavy metal taste. You can have, you could crave Kentucky Fried Chicken. I've had people tell me the top 3 that they always crave in the United States is Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, and Arby's. Those are the top 3 everybody says they crave when they get on this product. They say, I smell it for about 5 minutes, and I crave it, and I can taste it. That means you've eaten too much of that food. That means that was a beta fat cell that was locked in, say, a prison sentence in your body as a fat cell and was not capable of being removed as an energy source. If you can utilize it as an energy source, what will that do for you? One, that's going to give you more energy, right? Well, also, if it's a beta fat cell and it's a toxin, and by removing them, doesn't that make you healthier by being less toxic? See, because if you had an accumulation of beta fat cells and you kept on accumulating more and more and more, there's going to be a stopping point. There's going to be a point where there's too much toxins for your body to handle. What will it do when it has that point? It will not be positive. So when you start accumulating beta fat cells too quickly, you should look at where they're coming from, or why is your body not being able to get rid of them. So then we have to look at the other buddy of the buddy system, the colon formula. Why? If you want to get rid of toxins in your body, how do you do it? Do you want to have it come out through your skin? Or would you like to have it come out through your lungs? Or would you like to go through the primary source, which is the colon? See, so if you can get the colon, if you're trying to get somebody healthier, how do you do that? You have to get the colon clean, don't you? The colon has to be clean and moving the toxins out through the colon. By doing this, the colon tones. By doing this, the liver then is able to get rid of its toxins into the bowels and get rid of them at a speedy enough or a fast enough pace. If the liver can dump its putrescence into the bowels and the bowels dumps it out into the bathroom, then the bloodstream can dump off its putrescence into the spleen and the liver, correct? If the bloodstream can get rid of its toxins into the liver and spleen, and they in turn can get rid of their toxins into the bowels, and the bowels in turn gets rid of it into the toilet at a speedy enough nature that it does not re-assimilate into the body, then you will not get sick. Now that your blood is dumping off its putrescence, what does the blood do in all of your cells? Well, then it can clean them, because your blood's cleaner. Now, if all of your cells can get cleaner, and those beta fat cells can then take that negative toxin into the bloodstream, into the liver, into the bowels, into the toilet, we've now gotten rid of it, and it will never come back again. That is a fat cell you don't have to worry about. That should be a good thing. So when you have a product like this formula, Fire, when you have this and it gives you 12 hours of energy, why? How is that possible? It cannot be on blood sugar. Blood sugar will only last you a few hours. It's utilizing beta fat cells as energy and getting the toxin part of that beta fat cell to go through the colon. By getting that to go through the colon and getting into the wastebasket or the toilet, you are cleaning your system continually. You're getting healthier. And maybe some people are only doing this for vanity, saying, I'll look better. Well, that's fine. You're still getting healthier. You're getting healthier because you're getting rid of toxins. You're getting rid of toxic waste stuff in your body. I don't know what it is. It could be a multiplicity of things. All I know is you don't want it. Nobody looks at somebody really lean and fit and says, yeah, they look unhealthy. We look at the radiance of your skin, your eyes, your hair, your nail beds, and your teeth. And we look at all that and see whether you're healthy or not. Now, if you're lean, you're going to look healthy. If you're toned, I know you're in shape. So the more beta fat cells that we can utilize, the faster you have less toxins in your body. Now, remember, you have to stop eating those bad things that are creating beta fat cells. If you don't, you're in a competition of adding beta fat cells or adding fat while you're trying to get rid of fat. I would call that self-destructive. You cannot do that. If you're putting this much effort into it, to exercise and to utilize beta fat cells as energy by using this product system, then you should probably be wise to not eat anything or take anything like synthetic vitamins and medications and things like that that are going to cause you side effects of creating more beta fat cells. It's very interesting to watch people as they accumulate beta fat cells very fast. If and I know one personally, an ex-cancer patient who was given a lot of radiation and chemotherapy, by not cleansing her body fast enough or well enough or at all, she gained 25 pounds of pure beta fat cells and does not understand why. It's because toxins are trying to leave and you're not giving them a good exit maneuver. The good exit maneuver is caused through the bowels. That's how we get rid of them. So when you look at all the reasons, now what will happen if you only do 2 parts of the 3-part system? When I say it's a 3-part system, let's just look at them. I don't have a good rendition of this. I have the one that Stanley made me. So here's the colon, and here's the greens, and here's the fat loss, right? So this is your buddy system. These all have to be buddies. If you only do part of that, what's going to happen? Let's say you want to try to short sheet this. I only want to take the fat loss. I'm not going to take the greens, and I'm not going to take the colon. Let's just do one step at a time. Let's say you don't do the colon, or you're constipated and your colon needs more than the 6 pills a day that you're being fortified with. It's very possible. I've known people up to 18 pills a day. Why? It's what they've eaten their whole life. Now, they have a genetic weakness in their colon. I don't know. Whatever it is, you can overcome it. Okay? What if you don't take that? What's going to happen? Could you get sick? Yes. Or if I was in Australia, I'd say I was unwell. So, if I wasn't feeling well, why would that be? Let's think about it. If the body, the fire, does its job, right? Wherever that is. The fire does its job, and it takes that beta fat cell, and it gets it to a point where it's transported. And you don't move the toxin out of your system. What do you think is going to happen? It will be reabsorbed, won't it? If you do not move toxins fast enough, it will be reabsorbed into your body. What will happen? Could you get a stomach ache? Yes. Can you get a headache? Absolutely. Can you feel queasy or pukey? Yeah, all these things. You could just feel yucky all the time, right? What do you think the reason for that would be? You just asked me to give you a formula to get toxins and fat to release in my body at a high rate of speed all day long. So we granted that wish. And now you have it activating. And yet you don't allow it to have an exit maneuver. What happens to it? You just pulled the fire alarm in a building and then locked the doors. What happens? You get backed up. You're going to have a lot of toxins. They're not going to have any place to go. They're going to reabsorb into your body. 1, they're going to show back up as fat cells. 2, you're going to be having headaches, queasy, sick. You could even throw up. Won't get rid of it. Means you're keeping it. If you want to keep your troubles, that's what you're keeping. If you try to feed too many bad things into your body, any fast food is something I would tell you would have this. Those are contaminants. Synthetic vitamins will have this. They'll have this effect. If you're competing with this system, the system will lose. You cannot compete with this system. Now, if you exercise, you can get the system to work faster. If you use laser lipo or something like that, you can get the system to work faster. It will still need to go through the bowels. If you do not get it go through the bowels, almost everybody that uses laser lipo never has any consistent removal. Why? Because it gets reabsorbed. So what we want to do is we want to make a fail-safe system, right? We want to make it so you cannot screw it up. So you have to drink enough water. That'll help because that helps the bowels, doesn't it? You know where the bowels get their, you know where the body gets the water? If you get dehydrated, you don't drink enough water. Guess where it goes? First place your body gets moisture from is your colon. Well, now you can't move your bowels because you're going to be constipated, because you're going to have dry fecal matter. Not dry, but I mean it's not going to be as full and able to move through the bowels. So that's how people get constipated. They get dehydrated. So it takes moisture from the bowels. First place it takes it is the heart and the brain. Well, now you're thinking like crap, aren't you? So when you take this water from the colon and you put it to those two very important places, that's dangerous. You're also not going to be utilizing those stored body fat the same. So you just stopped yourself. That's just on one thing, water. I do recommend everybody chew their food 30 times per bite because your tummy has no teeth. I try to make it as easy on the system as possible. Everything has to be regulated by assimilation, not by what you have on your plate, but how it can be utilized. Okay, so you need to start looking at your nutrients on what you can utilize. The utilize a bit of these foods is how well you can process them. Okay, so when you do that, now you're going to take the 1. Because you have to have, now let's say you want to skip this. Oh, I don't want to take it. I don't like the taste. That's a choice. Nobody can force you to do it. So if you don't take this, what's going to happen? Well, it's not going to work as well. because you're not getting the nutrients so that the body can process things. And so anything that you skip in this process is going to stop you from having good results. Now you have to remember, some people store body fat for different reasons. Some of us just do it because of bad diet. Some of us do it because it's emotional. And we like to keep a large quantity of body fat because it keeps us feeling protected. If that's the case, you need to fix that problem. You need to overcome that. That's emotional. That means you will self-sabotage yourself back into a corner again if you start getting results. Look at an anorexic or a bulimic. If you got them to work out with weights, they will gain weight. They'll get on a scale and say, oh, that's 7 pounds too much. I can't be that much. They will immediately stop any process of health and get themselves to retard back into an unhealthy state. It's a comfort zone. Some people keep it so they keep their husbands away or their wives away. Some people do it and they're gluttons with food because that's how they feel loved. A lot of people like that become diabetics. We find a lot of diabetics don't feel loved. And so they use food as a sensation for love. You need to fix that problem. Now, are there ways to fix these problems? Of course there are, but that's not in this lecture. So if you do have this problem, that's something you need to fix because you're just going to self-sabotage yourself. And if you see a cycle, that's your cycle. You need to own up to it, fess up to it, and then fix it. I can't make a formula to overcome that. I can give you a formula to help you with serotonin levels so you feel happier, but I can't overcome subconscious reactions. All I can do is make a formula and then a system with the formula to work with the body to do the best I can to overcome what you've done for your whole life. See, because people don't just get fat overnight, do they? It's something you've done for a long time. Most of us have eating habits and we watch our parents and we eat like our parents. They say the more education you get, the farther away from your parents' eating habits you will get. If you don't like the way mom and dad look, you better make some big changes in your eating habits. And I would say most of us know what are healthy eating habits. If you think going to Burger King is a good eating habit, you're wrong. So if you think it's eating vegetables and whole grains, you're right. So you need to make better eating habit decisions. And if you see both your parents are well overweight or have died too young, I would suggest you made decisions that would be maybe the opposite of them. I always had somebody told me, I'm making a decision this way because every time I've made the opposite decision, it's been wrong. So I'm just going to, if this is the way I want to go, what is it called? George Costanza. It's a George Costanza decision. Just do the opposite of what George has always done and everything started turning out well, right? If anybody's ever watched that. You can cut that out, Stan, if you want to. So that's the thing, is if you continually have a habit that's bad, stop doing it. Go look at somebody that's lean. Go look at a girl that's 11% body fat and watch how she eats, how much she eats, and what she eats. Copy her every single meal and every single day. You will have her results. Go watch. And if you want to look like an Olympic athlete, go do what they do, and you will look like they look. If you eat like they eat and they're fat, you're going to get fat like they are. If they look lean, you're going to get lean like them. All I'm doing is producing a product, because even athletes cannot lose beta fat cells. I happen to create a product that will give you 12 hours of energy. So now it's an energy product, isn't it? That's pretty cool. It will give you 12 hours of energy. Does any other energy product do that? No, because this is the only energy product in the world that works on fat cells, not blood sugar. 2, it's a cleansing system. I love this so much because it's a cleansing system. I want everybody to be healthy. Unbeknownst to you, you're getting healthy utilizing this. You're getting rid of toxins. Isn't that an awesome situation? You're getting toxins, visible toxins. You're getting rid of the stuff that people should be doing cleanses for. And it's just a slow, gradual getting rid of toxins at a slow, gradual rate with the colon formula and feeding it the greens so that everybody, the greens is what I call the one. Sorry, because it's green, so I just call whatever it is, whatever it is. So when you have this nice, slow rate of metabolism of toxins, you're actually on a continuous cleansing cycle. That's pretty slick. 3, it's fat loss. You're getting rid of beta fat cells. You're getting rid of it behind the arms, in the hips, the guts, everything. Also, most guys and girls, their colons are expanded. Okay, most guys have that big medicine ball, that big gut, they call it a beer belly. That's a lot of colon. It's not just fat, it's colon. What will happen? Well, the part of the system that's 200 years old in my family is the colon. My family just must hate crap. So when you see this is what gets rid of that pooch. You see a girl, even if she's lean, I've dealt with all kinds of athletes and professional athletes and Olympic athletes. Even people that are really lean, bodybuilders, will have their colon is expanded and sticking out. You ever see a bodybuilding guy that his colon, even though it's ripped and muscular abs, is sticking out as far as his huge chest? It's colon. You give him this product and his colon will get smaller and he'll get a flatter stomach. Girls that have a pooch, it will get smaller. Is it overnight? Well, for some people it is a little bit, but you got to remember, 1 month for every year you've had the problem. You may not even know how long you've had the problem. It might be from when you were 10 years old you started eating garbage. So a lot of us have had these problems because we ate what our parents gave us, and not all of that was healthy. I'm not blaming your parents. I'm just, my mom didn't like all the things I said either. I'm just saying that a lot of times we weren't taught always the best way. And in our cultures of obesity, it's obvious that we're going in the wrong direction. We have so much more obesity in the last 20 years, it's ridiculous. We have so non-nutritional food. I'm telling you to eat to live, don't live to eat. So if you'll eat nutritionally for the benefit and as much nutrition as you can pack into your lasagna or your pizza or whatever you're going to eat, that's what I think is best. I think I'm going to need water. I thought she was bringing me a water. So, well, she walked by with a water, so I got thirsty. When you look at the nutrition that you need to give yourself, remember to eat the quality of food, and the less refined, the best. So you want whole grains, nothing processed. You want fruits and vegetables. You want all these things, and beans and nuts, everything with the largest amount of nutrients. Look at any vitamin thing and they'll tell you where the natural vitamins come from. It's always leafy greens and vegetables and whole grains and brown rice. That's where you want to get everything. That's why I created this product. That's the whole thing about this, is it's one-stop shopping. It's the only product in the world that has every vitamin and every mineral in a whole food state. Everything's organic, everything's natural, nothing synthetic, nothing inorganic, nothing's dirt, nothing's 1,000-year-old broccoli. Everything is whole and live, nothing's heated, nothing's killed. That's why it has such amazing results. Will this help your colon? Yes. Will this help you utilize body fat? Yes. Just taking it all together and making a system out of it made a great harmonic system, because the fat loss needs those other products to utilize perfectly. If not, I would get sick. If I took it, I'd get too many beta fat cells too fast. Now, do not take more than the amount that is told to you to take. Don't think that, oh, I'm special, I need 10. Oh, I'm special, I need 6. No, you're not. Sorry. You're special. We love you. But you're not special to have 6. You're not special to have 10. You're special enough to have 5 instead of 3. But not enough to have 6. Not 5.5. And don't give it to your children. And if you're on medications, obviously you need to talk to your health practitioner, okay? Because you're taking something that's different. If you're on a bunch of drugs and medications, and then you take something, because those drugs and medications are going to go to stored body fat, as well as cause you some interesting effects in your body and chemical imbalances in your body because you're taking drugs. That's going to have an effect. That's not something I am here to tell you about. That's something you need to discuss with your doctor. That's not for me. Okay? So this is made for people that are not on their medications and drugs and diabetics and heart problems and stuff like that. I understand that a lot of people that are overweight probably do have some of those issues. If your doctor thinks it's deemable, he can read the ingredients and tell you if he thinks that you should be able to take it or not in that combination. It's just like exercise. Should you go and do an aerobics class and lift heavy weights and go running without talking to your health practitioner? No. I don't know if you have a naturopath, a DO, or a medical doctor, a chiropractor. I don't know who you go to, your nutritionist. Make sure they know what they're talking about before you ask their opinion. I certainly am not going to go to a guy that works at a Ford dealer and talk to him about Fords and that's all he knows. He's always owned Fords, and ask him about buying a Mercedes because he's going to say not to do it. Don't buy a Mercedes, buy Ford. That's because that's all he knows. Go to somebody that has a little bit more education. I believe everybody should exercise because I think we're too stagnant. I think exercise is absolutely core to us living longer. Look at Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne, what, he towed 20-something boats across the English Channel when he was 86 years old? I would like to do that. Look at Norman Walker running marathons and winning in his 90s, and he lived to 119 years old. These are people you listen to. These are people that live by it, have proved it. Jack LaLanne said, your waistline is your lifeline. Why would your waistline be your lifeline? It's kind of like what my grandfather said 200 years ago, is the colon is the root of all problems. If you don't get those toxins out, you cannot be healthy in your body. I'm sorry, I don't care what you do. I don't think just bodybuilding or anything like that can be healthy if you're unclean. If you have toxins or if you're taking toxins to have a result to show better on the outside, it will catch up with you. It's like taking steroids. I'm completely against it. I lost my best friend to steroids. When I was a strength coach and taught exercise physiology at the university and I taught nutrition, I taught against steroids. Why? There's 173 negative effects. There's only 3 athletically enhancing effects. Please don't take them. If you are taking them, you better have your liver checked, you better have your spleen checked, you better have your heart and blood pressure checked a lot. And then you better have a way out once you stop taking the steroids to get your testosterone back up, because it will be down permanently. And those little boys will shrivel up like raisins. So, just the facts. So, and girls, never take them. I don't care what your boyfriend or husband says. Don't ever, ever, ever take them. You can get the most amount of muscle to the best of your abilities by exercising and being smart. Eating properly. So, we've created a system, and I want everybody to understand that there's possible effects that you can have by not utilizing the system correctly. Or, if you utilize the system correctly, you just might want to be one of those special people that's going to have a headache. And you might feel queasy. Because you have so much crap in you that it's coming out fast. Be glad it's coming out. It's better out than in. However, if you are feeling sick, what should you do? Drink more water. Get your bowels to make sure they move faster. Would that be a wise thing to do? Yeah, absolutely. If the bowels aren't working, go drink some raw juice. The undigestible fruit sugars in prune juice or raw juices will get more liquid to go into the bowels and move the bowels out, because that's where the toxins are. And so if that's what your effect is, that's one way you can get rid of it. The natural process is us taking the guts every night before you go to bed. Maybe you're not taking enough. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. So don't complain about it. Be glad that you're getting rid of the bad stuff, because that means you've gotten it to release in a cell that most people say you cannot get to release in a cell. We just got 1/8 the amount of blood flow to increase so that you could get rid of a bad toxic cell, bad toxic fat cell. These beta toxins are dangerous. So when you feel them, you taste them, you smell them, you know you just burned up a mistake you did 3 years ago or however many years ago. You should be proud of that. It's a pretty cool thing when you think about it. Hey, I just tasted something. That's me burning something up, and I'll never have to see it again. Don't repeat it. Don't put it back in your system. You just got rid of it. You should applaud yourself. Whatever you did, do it again. That was fantastic. If you had it because you were running, run more. If you had it because you exercise, fantastic. Keep going. So that's some of the effects that you might have. I don't know what you've taken in your body. This is around the world. We don't know all this stuff. You could be living next to Chernobyl. You could have all kinds of effects from that. I don't know. Maybe you're in Ukraine and Chernobyl was right down the street from you. Maybe you were in Japan and maybe that's where you have the problem. Maybe you're listening to this and going, and you're going to have those toxics coming out. You need to increase your water. When I talk about water, I'm not talking about tap water, guys. Don't drink the tap water. Our government's put too much crap in it. You need to drink good, clean water. Now, my opinion's probably different than other people. Of course, I can support it. Reverse osmosis, good, clean water. Filtered water, fine. Distilled water, great. People come against distilled water, say, oh, you shouldn't drink distilled water. Why? Because it's H2O? Are you wanting other active ingredients in your water? See, I don't want anything else in my water. I just want water. Once water comes in and hits my saliva, is it still just neutral water with 0 parts per million? No, it's impossible. It's now no longer 0 parts per million because it touched my tongue. If I washed my hands in it, it would no longer be distilled, would it? Once it hits my stomach, which has to be between 1.2 and 4 of acidity ratio, is it still alkaline? No, it doesn't matter. It changed it. The body has to keep certain things in certain ways. So when that distilled water hits my stomach, it's no longer distilled. When that reverse osmosis water hits my stomach, it's no longer reverse osmosis, is it? So at that time, all I want was the cleanest, least amount of contaminants, least amount of extras going into my gullet as possible. Hydration. I don't want chlorine. I don't want any of those things in my water. If you really want fluoride for your teeth, take it in a paste. Don't swallow it, it's poisonous. So drink lots of water, eat healthy, chew your food well, and go by the system strictly. If you need to increase your colon, I doubt anybody needs to decrease their colon pills. If you need to increase it, buy an extra bottle. Drink more juice. Eat more vegetables. Eat more whole grains. That's how you get rid of it. If you get sick, you're not moving it fast enough, okay? I hope everybody understands that. If you smell different smells in your body odor, what does that mean? You're moving stuff out. If it doesn't go away, you're not moving it out fast enough. If you have bad breath, move your bowels. That's where it comes from.